Are you tired of feeling like you're always the one waiting for his call, waiting for his attention, waiting for him to finally treat you the way you deserve? Let's get real deep down. You know this isn't how love is supposed to feel. And here's the hard truth no one tells you. The more you wait, the less he tries. Because a low-effort man feeds on the comfort of knowing you'll still be there, no matter how little he gives. But what if starting right now, you flipped the script? What if you stopped waiting and started living? What if instead of hoping he changes, you made a single powerful choice that made him feel the fear of losing you? That's exactly what this video is here for. And if you stay with me to the end, I'm gonna hand you the mindset shift that doesn't just get his attention, it changes the game. Picture this. You stop checking your phone every 2 minutes. You stop wondering when he'll make time for you. Instead, you start showing up for you. You fill your life with joy, passion, and purpose. And as your world gets bigger, brighter, more beautiful, he notices. Oh, he notices. And that man who thought you'd wait forever, suddenly he's the one feeling the panic, the pull, the need to step up before it's too late. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps to make that happen. No mind games, no manipulation, just real proven strategies that work. Because when you stop waiting, when you choose to live fully, something magical happens. He feels your absence before you even leave. That's the moment he realizes what he stands to lose. So don't click away. Every second of this video is packed with the insights you need to stop wasting your time and start creating a life that naturally attracts effort, respect, and love. The shift starts now, and trust me, you don't want to miss a moment. Let's break down the real reason low-effort men act the way they do. Because understanding this is your first step to reclaiming your power. Low-effort men aren't always bad people. In fact, many of them don't even realize how little they're giving. But here's the truth. At the core of a low-effort man's behavior is comfort. Comfort in knowing you're there. Comfort in knowing you'll stay even when he doesn't show up the way you deserve. And as long as you keep giving him that comfort without requiring him to meet your standards, he'll keep doing the bare minimum. Low-effort men operate from a place of minimal investment for maximum reward. If he can get your attention, your energy, your affection, all without truly putting in the work, why would he change? It's not that he can't put in effort, it's that he doesn't have to, because you've already shown him through your patience, your forgiveness, your endless understanding, that he can get away with it. And let's be honest, the more you wait, the more he believes he has time. Time to figure himself out. Time to explore other options. Time to give you just enough breadcrumbs to keep you hoping for more. What you need to see is this. Low-effort behavior is not a reflection of your worth. It's not because you're not good enough, not beautiful enough, not valuable enough. It's a reflection of what he's been allowed to get away with and what he's conditioned to expect. A man who gives little effort does so because it's been rewarded. Because he hasn't felt the sting of losing something truly valuable yet, and that's where the power shifts. The moment you stop rewarding low effort, the dynamic changes. When you stop responding to half-hearted texts, when you stop clearing your schedule for someone who doesn't prioritize you, when you start living a life that excites you, without waiting for him to catch up, he notices, and that's when his comfort is replaced by uncertainty. That's when he starts to realize that if he doesn't step up, he risks losing you for good. So as you listen to the rest of this video, I want you to keep one thing in mind. You hold the key to changing this dynamic, not by convincing him, not by begging, but by shifting your energy, your focus, and your standards. Low-effort men don't change because they hear about your worth. They change because they feel the loss of it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make that happen effortlessly. Let's talk about the power of your words, because the right words, delivered in the right way, can shift his mindset without you ever raising your voice or chasing for attention. A low-effort man has settled into a pattern where he thinks he can coast. But when you begin to speak in ways that reflect your self-worth, it forces him to see you differently. It plants seeds that make him stop and think. And that's where the shift begins. First, understand this. Men respond more to how your words make them feel than to what you actually say. That's why tone, timing, and confidence matter just as much as the words themselves. When you communicate from a place of calm strength, not frustration, not desperation, your words carry weight. They linger in his mind long after the conversation ends. That's what we're aiming for. Imagine saying something simple like, I value effort, not excuses, no anger, no drama, just fact. or I enjoy people who match my energy. These are statements that quietly set a standard. You're not demanding, you're not pleading, you're simply stating how you operate. And that forces him to reflect, am I matching her energy? Am I giving effort or excuses? Another subtle phrase that works wonders is I make time for those who make time for me. This isn't about punishing him, it's about showing him your world doesn't revolve around waiting. You're not standing still, holding your breath for crumbs of attention. That simple line reminds him that your time is valuable, and he either respects it or he risks losing it. Here's another. I'm happiest when I'm treated with consistency. Notice the softness of it. It's not a demand. It's an invitation for him to rise to the level of what brings you joy. And if he cares at all, that sticks in his mind. He starts to wonder if his inconsistency is costing him something, because you're making it clear without saying it outright. One of the most powerful approaches is to combine your words with action. For example, after he flakes on plans or shows low effort, you don't argue or guilt trip. Instead, when he reaches out again, you say, I'm focused on things that add to my peace, and you follow through. No long explanations, no emotional outbursts, just clear, calm, and true. When you use words like these, what you're really doing is shifting the emotional landscape between you. You're no longer reinforcing his comfort zone, where low effort is enough. Instead, you're showing him, through your words and your energy, that effort is the only currency that counts. And here's the beauty of this. You're planting those seeds without threats, ultimatums, or endless talks about where this is going. You're letting your standards do the talking. As you go through this journey, remember this. It's not about getting clever with phrases or memorizing lines. It's about speaking from a place of genuine self-worth. When you believe what you're saying, when it comes from your core, he feels it, and that's when the real magic happens. He starts to see you differently. He starts to realize that if he wants a place in your life, he needs to meet you at the level you're at, because anything less won't work anymore. Stay with me, because in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you the exact actions that back up these words and make him truly fear losing you. That's where the real shift happens, and you don't want to miss it. Now that you've planted the right words in his mind, let's talk about what truly makes a low-effort man. Sit up, pay attention, and start fearing the idea of losing you, your actions. Because at the end of the day, words can spark curiosity, but actions create impact. Actions show him, in a way he can't ignore, that you are no longer available for crumbs. You're only available for consistency, respect, and effort. The first action that shifts the energy is pulling back with rest. This doesn't mean playing games or going silent out of anger. It means you stop giving him access to all the parts of you that he's taken for granted. When he sends a half-hearted text, you don't jump to reply within seconds. When he calls at the last minute to make plans, you're suddenly unavailable, not because you're faking it, but because you're truly filling your life with things that bring you joy. And trust me, when he notices that your world doesn't revolve around him anymore, that's when the fear creeps in. Next is living fully, and I mean really living. You don't just tell him you're busy, you are busy. Busy creating a life that lights you up. Busy spending time with friends who uplift you. Busy pursuing passions, hobbies, and goals that excite you. And here's the beautiful part. The more you immerse yourself in your own joy, the more magnetic you become. Because nothing makes a man fear losing you more than realizing you're perfectly capable of being happy without him. Another powerful action is setting clear boundaries and sticking to them. For example, if you've told him that last-minute plans don't work for you, you don't cave when he invites you out at the 11th hour. You politely decline and go on with your night. If you've expressed that consistency matters, you don't reward inconsistent behavior with your time and energy. And here's where the magic happens. When you hold firm to your standards, without drama or long explanations, he starts to understand that you're serious, that you mean what you say, and that he doesn't get endless chances to figure it out. One subtle yet powerful action is protecting your peace. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop trying to convince him why he should treat you better. When you stop fighting for a place in his life and start choosing where you spend your time and energy, he feels it. He feels the shift from you seeking his validation to you valuing yourself so deeply that you're no longer available for anything less. And let's not forget this key action. Remain unbothered. When he notices your energy is no longer tangled up in what he's doing or not doing, he starts to question everything, because low-effort men expect you to chase, to wait, to react. When you stay calm, confident, and focused on yourself, that's when the panic sets in. That's when he starts thinking, what if she really moves on? What if she's serious this time? Every move you make from a place of self-respect builds that quiet, growing fear in his mind. The fear of losing someone irreplaceable. So stay with me, because in the next part of this video, we'll break down real-life scenarios that bring all of this together and make him feel that fear for real. And you'll see just how powerful these small shifts can be. Let's bring this to life with real-world scenarios, because theory means nothing without action. I want you to picture how these moments play out. When you apply them, they trigger something powerful inside him. The realization that if he doesn't step up, he will lose you. And that fear, that's what pushes effort out of a man who's been coasting. Imagine this. He sends you that lazy last-minute text. What are you doing tonight? In the past, you might have cleared your schedule, felt excited he reached out, and said yes just to get some of his time. But now you respond hours later calmly, I've already made plans. Let's plan ahead next time. And then you leave it at that. No over-explaining, no guilt, no chasing. In that moment, he feels it, the loss of that easy access. And now, for the first time in a long time, he realizes he has to earn your time. Picture another scenario. He goes days without meaningful effort, maybe giving you dry text or inconsistent attention. Instead of confronting him with frustration, you quietly shift your energy elsewhere. He sees you on social media glowing, out at dinner with friends, pursuing that passion project, enjoying life, and suddenly that man who was comfortable in his low effort feels the sting of missing out. You're no longer sitting around waiting. Your joy is no longer tied to him. And nothing shakes a man out of complacency faster than realizing the world doesn't stop when he's absent. Or how about this? He calls or messages expecting your usual warm, instant response, but now your replies are thoughtful and kind, but measured. You're not cold, you're not angry, but your energy is different. He senses that your world is fuller now, that he's no longer the center of your attention. And that shift, that makes him think, what changed? Who else has her attention? What am I losing here? That's when effort begins. Another powerful scenario. He suggests vague plans. We should hang out sometime. In the past, you'd jump on it. Now, you smile and say, sure, let me know when you have something in mind. You leave the ball in his court. You've made it clear that effort and clarity are what open doors to your time. And if he cares, he'll start making actual plans, or risk watching you walk away. These scenarios work because they show him the consequences of low effort, without drama, without arguments, without ultimatum. Your actions speak louder than any speech ever could. The moment he sees that you're no longer waiting, no longer hoping for change, that's the moment he feels the urgency to be that change. And if he doesn't, that's his loss, because you're already moving forward, creating a life so full and vibrant that no man would dare risk losing it. So as we move into the next part of this video, stay with me, because I'm about to give you final tips on how to make this shift permanent, how to stay in his mind long after you're gone, and how to build a presence so powerful he'll never forget what he let slip away. Self-worth isn't something you demand from others. It's something you build from within. And when you do, it radiates in everything you say, everything you do, and every choice you make. It draws effort toward you without you chasing, begging, or convincing. That's what makes self-worth magnetic. It's quiet strength, not loud declarations. And when you truly embody it, the right man will see it and fear losing it. The first step in building magnetic self-worth is knowing your value without external validation. So many women tie their worth to how a man treats them. If he calls, if he shows up, if he chooses them. But real self-worth comes when you choose yourself first. When you wake up and remind yourself, I am enough exactly as I am. I don't need to prove it. I just need to live it. When you do that, your energy shifts. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-giving. You simply are. Confident, secure, unshaken. Another way to build self-worth is to stop negotiating your standards. Low-effort men thrive when you lower the bar. But every time you stand firm, when you decline last-minute plans, when you say no to inconsistent behavior, when you choose your peace over chaos, you strengthen your self-worth. And here's the magic. The more you honor your standards, the easier it becomes. What once felt hard, saying no, walking away, demanding more, becomes natural, because you start to realize that protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's powerful, and it's necessary. Building magnetic self-worth also means filling your life with things that light you up, independent of him. You're not waiting for his attention to feel joy. You create joy. You build it into your daily life through your passions, your friendships, your dreams. When you focus on becoming the happiest, most fulfilled version of yourself, you stop looking to him to complete you. And that's when the dynamic shifts. He looks at you and sees someone vibrant, someone whole, someone who doesn't need him, but who could choose him. And that difference, it changes everything. One of the most magnetic things you can do is to remain unbothered. That doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough not to let his low effort define your mood, your day, or your work. When you stop reacting to crumbs, when you stop getting caught up in the push-pull of his inconsistency, you show him and yourself that you're on a different level. And trust me, that quiet confidence lingers in his mind far longer than any argument or emotional outburst ever could. Finally, building self-worth means trusting that if someone doesn't rise to meet your standards, someone else will. You don't cling to what isn't serving you. You don't fear walking away from what drains you, because you know that your worth isn't tied to whether or not he sees it. It's tied to whether you honor it. And when you do, the right man will feel it, and the low-effort man will either step up or step aside. So stay with me. In the next part of this video, I'll share final tips to help you lock in this mindset and make sure your presence stays in his mind long after you're gone. This is the shift that changes everything, and you're closer than you think. If you want to stay in his mind forever, it's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming unforgettable by how you carry yourself, how you value yourself, and how you live with or without him. The truth is, people remember how you make them feel, and when you shift the energy from waiting to thriving, you leave an imprint he won't shake easily. One of the most powerful ways to stay in his mind is to let your absence be felt. When you stop chasing, when you stop filling the space with constant messages, calls, or availability, you create a gap. And in that gap, he starts to feel the difference between what life is like with your presence and what it's like without it. But here's the key. This isn't about silent treatment or punishing him. It's about you redirecting your energy inward. When you stop giving him access to you 24/7, when you stop being easy to reach at his convenience, he begins to notice that your time and attention are precious. And that's what lingers in his mind. Another tip that leaves a lasting impression: become the woman who moves forward with grace. Instead of arguing, begging, or demanding change, you show it through your actions. When he drops the ball, you don't lecture. You simply step back and focus on your own joy. You show him what it looks like to be secure in yourself, to choose peace over chaos. And long after the moment passes, he'll replay it in his mind. That image of you walking away from what didn't serve you, with your head held high. Stay in his mind by being the woman who uplifts herself first. Instead of losing yourself in the relationship, you build you're chasing goals, creating new experiences, expanding your world, and he watches. He watches as you grow, as you glow, as you create a life so full that he wonders where he fits in. The more you invest in yourself, the more magnetic you become, because a woman who is fulfilled without him is the woman who haunts his thoughts. Here's another secret to becoming unforgettable: leave him better than you found him. This doesn't mean fixing him. It means that your words, your presence, your standards inspired him to think deeper, try harder, or see relationships differently. When you operate with kindness but firmness, when you show what true self-respect looks like, you become the standard he compares everyone else to. And no matter how far he runs or how long he's gone, there will be moments, quiet moments, when he remembers you and feels the weight of what he lost. Be consistent. Let your energy speak louder than your words. No mixed signals. No saying you value yourself but accepting low effort. When your words and actions align, he knows you're serious. And that certainty, that unshakable confidence, is what stays with him. Because so many chase attention, so many bend their standards out of fear, that you stay true to yourself, and that's rare, that's unforgettable. Finally, understand this. You stay in his mind forever. Not because you tried to, but because you focused on living your truth. You stopped worrying about what he thinks. You stopped waiting for him to see your worth. And in doing that, he does see it. Maybe not right away. Maybe not until it's too late. But he will. Because when you stop trying to be memorable and start trying to be authentic, that's when you leave the deepest imprint of all. So as this video draws to a close, remember, It's not about manipulating him. It's not about proving your worth. It's about embodying it, living it, and letting your light shine so bright that he can't help but notice. And if he's smart, he'll rise to meet you. If not, you've already won, because you've chosen you. And that's the kind of power that stays in anyone's mind forever. At the end of it all, the most powerful move you can make isn't trying to convince him to see your worth. It isn't begging for effort or explaining yourself over and over. It's letting him feel the loss of you. Because here's the truth. When you stop trying to hold on to someone who gives you less than you deserve, that's when the weight of their choices hits them the hardest. A low-effort man only wakes up when the comfort of having you within reach is gone. Letting him feel the loss isn't about blocking him or cutting him off with bitterness. It's about something far deeper. It's about reclaiming your energy. It's when you stop offering your emotional availability to someone who's done nothing to earn it. When he reaches out with lazy effort, and instead of falling back into old patterns, you choose silence. Or better yet, you choose peace. You don't chase, you don't react, you move forward. And that movement, that's what echoes in his mind long after the conversation ends. Think about this. When you were always there, always waiting, always hoping, he never had to consider life without you. He never had to wonder what it would feel like to truly lose your warmth, your support, your time. But when you pull that back and direct it toward yourself, when you start living a life that no longer revolves around him, that's when reality sets in. That's when he feels the absence of what he took for granted. And let me tell you, that absence is powerful. It forces him to sit with himself, to think about the moments he let slip away, to question why you've stopped reaching out, stopped trying, stopped giving so freely. And maybe for the first time he realizes he's not as secure in your heart as he thought. That's the moment he starts to feel the loss. And that feeling, that's the catalyst for either change or regret. Either way, you've shifted the dynamic in your favor. But here's what's important. Letting him feel the loss isn't about waiting for him to come back. It's not about hoping he finally sees what he had. It's about you choosing yourself so completely that whether he returns or not, no longer defines your happiness. That's real power. That's real freedom. Because at the end of the day, this journey isn't about making him miss you. It's about making sure you never forget your worth again. So as you close this chapter, remember, the strongest statement you can make is to stop showing up where effort isn't matched. To stop giving access to your heart where it's not valued. And when you do, he'll feel it deeply. The quiet absence of a woman who loved herself enough to walk away is louder than any words you could ever speak. And long after you've chosen peace, he'll sit with the memory of what he lost while you continue to rise.